Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today's topic of discussion is mental wellness. On the conversation on mental wellness this week, I'm going to be giving you the business case for indifference. And I think that it's really important because with so many grabs for our attention, that we learn the practice of indifference when we think about the people and the places and the things in our life and where they fit. And oftentimes we think that it's a dichotomy. We think that either the things that we interact with or navigate across in our lives is either the things that we like or the things that we dislike. And a lot of people operate between those two levers. It's either they like it or they don't like it. And then that will drive a certain set of behaviors. But all of those behaviors, like, dislike, they're two sides of the same coin. They take a lot of energy out of you. I think that it's a lot of active energy that we are expending if it is the case that we like or dislike something. So actually, I think that an important third option that not many of us leverage is indifference. And so I am someone who loves indifference. It's a practice that I learned over time, but it is a principle that my father taught me, that if it is the case that you have decided that there is something that is not for you, that there is someone who is not for you, where you feel that it doesn't serve you to spend time with this individual or in those places and spaces, or to invest any of your attention to it, then you need to withdraw completely. And you not only withdraw physically, but you withdraw mentally and emotionally. Like, you don't give it any access to your resources. And so when we say like no access is more than just physically removing yourself from a situation. It's also physically removing the power of that situation in your own mental framework. It's moving it to a place of indifference, which means however things go, it's almost like you're assuming a place of neutrality. And so I want to talk about this. I am typically a high-strung person, generally speaking. I have a high standard of excellence for the things that I do put my energy into, but I am as equally passionate about indifference. And when it is the case that I've decided that I don't like something, it doesn't stay in that bucket for very long. It gets shifted over to indifference because I recognize that my energy is a finite resource. It's a precious resource, and I don't want to waste it on things that don't feel good and that don't bring me good and that are not going to serve me in the long term. And so one of the moments in my childhood where I recognize like what happens when we allow ourselves to ruminate on negative feelings, not just like having the chip on my shoulder going through adolescence. I used to be a big scrapbooker. I used to have a corkboard in my bedroom, and every couple of months, every few months, I would swap out the different pictures. I was that kid who like loved to take photographs and print them out. And I have a little bit of a scrapbook of like my memories of the year, and I would just kind of rotate pictures in and out. And so I remember there was this one moment, I was maybe at most 14 or 15. I was in high school, and I had just reunited with a few kids that I had gone to school with in the 4th grade. So that was the time where we first moved to Ontario from Alberta, and I was always a year younger. So if you don't know, like, I was always a year younger than my classmates. I always had that over me. And so for 4th grade, I met a few students that I ended up going back to school with in the 9th grade. And I also reunited with a friend. We were best friends in the 4th grade. We still kept in touch. Our parents enabled us to have play dates when I had moved further east. And at that point, I had moved and I had gone through grade 5 in Port Hope, and then grade 6 I was homeschooled. And so by the time I made it to high school, I was reunited from these kids that I went to school with in grade 4. And so one of these girls, like, her and I were best friends in grade 4, so we reignited that friendship. And I remember, like, I had all of these memories on my corkboard from people that her and I knew in common, but I didn't realize that she had negative feelings towards these people. And I remember I had left her in my room for just a little bit, and it wasn't until much later when she had left that I looked at my corkboard and I recognized that she had taken the time and the attention to like poke out the eyes of the people in the corkboard that she had a bone to pick with. So she took the picture off and she like took a pin and she poked out the eyes, and then she put the picture right back so that I wouldn't notice. But of course I did notice because I like to look at my memories, and I remember I was so caught off guard by how angry it was. Like, not only like, I mean, there's one thing, like, I'm someone who, like, if I'm upset, right, or if, you know, I've decided that this is a friendship I want to keep, like, I will rip up a picture for sure, but I'm not going to go ahead and be so meticulous and like poking out a specific feature of the picture. And I thought that was really intense. I thought it was really intense, and I took some time to really think about, well, what does it do to you? If you allow yourself to like not forgive and to not let things go, like, what does that make of you? It really does end up being the poison that you drink hoping someone else will die. And so for me, I bore witness to what that resentment, what that bitterness, what that lack of forgiveness was creating in her. And we had a conversation about her defacing my scrapbook scrapbook, and she was just like, well, and she had like all the reasons and the excuses, but at the end of the day, like, this was my scrapbook. It wasn't going to hurt the people in the pictures, right? It hurt me. I had to like reprint those pictures. But I recognize like what happens when we don't practice indifference. Like, if someone has hurt you, or if someone is not good for you or not healthy for you, like, why carry that energy within you and allow that energy to become something ugly within you, where you feel inclined to do the kinds of things that make other people kind of question your decision making ultimately. I want to come here and make the argument, because I think that it's really important that if someone is disrespectful, if someone does dislike you, like active disliking them, like, I feel like there's a lot of energy to expend for someone that you already recognize is not your cup of tea. I think that if you recognize that someone is not your cup of tea, like, that choice in and of itself should trigger indifference, a place of impartiality. Like, whether they're happy or sad, it means nothing to you. What they're doing doesn't mean anything to you. Like, you just kind of take them out of your mind, like out of mind, out of sight. And also it gives you the ability to stay civilized, to be civil, because I don't think that my feelings towards someone should shift and change the way that I hold myself accountable for how I interact with other people. But how I enable myself to do that is I don't allow myself to really root and ruminate on negative feelings, right? Like, if something happens where I realize this person's not my cup of tea, this isn't my kind of situation to be in, like, I'm really just not going to expose myself to that kind of energy, because I know it doesn't serve me, it doesn't feel good to me. And so I think for a lot of us out there, we recognize that there are people in our lives that we are interacting with for whatever reason, and they're not our kind of people. But are we going to spend our time like ruminating and obsessing and taking our own mental, emotional energy thinking about the people that we know don't serve us? I think that's not the best way of going about it. If we're thinking about mental wellness, the focus is on giving yourself the opportunity or creating a foundation where you can practice wellness, not just in the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, but in the thoughts you're entertaining. And how we manage that is we recognize that if there is something that we don't like, if there is something in our environment that doesn't feel good or doesn't bring feel-good feelings, then why put emphasis on it? Like, why put focus on it? I think recognize that it's not good for you, and then manage your behavior accordingly. Because I also don't believe that me disliking something or someone means that they should change, right? They can be who they are, and I've taken the mental note, and I will navigate and organize myself according to my own emotions. I am accountable and responsible for my emotions, and I'm also accountable and responsible for making sure that I'm not putting myself in a situation where I'm feeling negative emotions all the time. And so indifference is the way that I do that. Indifference is a tool that I feel not very many people use. Like, people don't recognize that you do have the choice not to care. When you realize that something or someone doesn't serve you, you don't have to spend time thinking more about it. It's a point in time, you decide that, then you navigate and you organize yourself accordingly. You don't need to go out of your way to be active in that dislike by trying to make your lives miserable or trying to go out of your way to do things that will upset them or that will trigger them. I mean, why spend your energy doing these things to people who ultimately are not going to play a significant role in your life? So that was the food for thought that I wanted to leave with you, something to ponder as you think about your energy, how you value your energy, and how, if it is the case that you do value your energy, there are just certain people, places, situations, like reflecting, putting your time and attention on them, just simply do not serve you. And hopefully I've been able to make that argument. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we do host live events at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our website. So definitely be sure to check those out and be part of our Game Changer community. Yes, so we do that. We do also offer package plans. Yes, so package plans that give you the opportunity to attend workshops, webinars, and different events that we host all the time, giving us an opportunity to cultivate that inner alignment, that self-mastery that I think all of us are looking for, is to find that fulfillment in life. And you also do offer parent-child workshops, so workshops that enable children to cultivate leadership by focusing on the kinds of skills that are derived from grit, perseverance, and resilience, and making sure that we cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in our children. And so we've made the argument that the foundation of that are 4 specific modules focusing on self-concept, autonomy, self-efficacy, and compassion. So we have something for everyone. We're confident we have something for everyone in your family. So definitely check out the website, check out the modules, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.